International Video Projects and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Division of Recreation and Parks proudly present Bahia Honda State Park.
People come to visit Bahia Honda State Park for our beautiful natural white sandy beaches. They also like to come to snorkel in our crystal clear waters and to visit the historical old Bahia Honda Bridge.
Whether you're driving or taking a low-level helicopter flight, the waters surrounding the Florida Keys grab your attention. The spectacular greens and blues of the crystal clear seas virtually demand that you jump in. What better place to do that than at Bahia Honda State Park, just 36 miles north of Key West and home to the largest natural beach in the Keys. Bahia Honda is one of the most visited state parks in Florida, with nature trails, a variety of habitats, numerous recreational opportunities, and an interesting slice of history. It's also one of the easiest to find. Just take US 1, the overseas highway south from mainland Florida, and about 2/3 of the way to Key West, the highway runs right through the park. One left turn off that highway brings you right to the Bahia Honda State Park entrance.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Bahia Honda.
Well, what a wonderful day. Could you tell me what you have going here, what we can do?
Sure, we have 2.5 miles of beach. We have a marina, a gift shop, a concession. This map will show you all the things that we offer.
Okay, thank you very much.
If you have reservations for camping or want to try your luck for a first-come, first-served site, you'll want to stop at the park entrance. In just a few minutes, you'll be on your way with plenty of information and directions to your site.
While you're camping here, we ask that you please do not tie or hang anything on the trees or the shrubbery. Keep all of your equipment within the center of the site, not back into the vegetation or behind the fencing at all. Don't build any fires on the ground, use the grills.
We'll visit the campgrounds later in the program. First, it's time to find out what Bahia Honda is all about. For many of our visitors, it's all about the beaches, and we have 3 of them. Our smallest beach is Calusa Beach, located on the northwest or Gulf side of the island. Calusa Beach is popular with many visitors because of the numerous picnic shelters adjacent to the water. Obviously, the shade is important for those who can't take too much sun. Additionally, there is a bathhouse with freshwater showers nearby. You'll notice that there is usually dead seagrass above the waterline on all of our beaches. We don't rake the beaches or otherwise remove the grasses because of their importance to the ecology of the island. The grasses contain tiny animals called amphipods, which provide a food source for shorebirds. The decaying material serves to fertilize beach plants, and the seagrasses help hold sand in place, thus preventing beach erosion. On the Atlantic Ocean side, a short walk across the island from Calusa, lies Loggerhead Beach with adjacent parking. At Bahia Honda, the fine-grained white sand beaches are natural. Many other Keys islands truck in sand to create beaches. Loggerhead is our shallowest beach, and it features a large offshore sandbar. It's a great area for small children and for beginning snorkelers and kayakers. Those seeking a slightly more remote beach might choose Sandspur, our largest beach, which lies east of the center of the park. Sandspur has its own bathhouse as well as picnic shelters and plenty of parking. Our beaches attract not only tourists but also day visitors from as far away as Miami and Key West. The water temperature ranges from the lower 70s in winter to the upper 80s in summer, and there are no strong currents along the beaches to bother swimmers. While the Bahia Honda beaches are a prime attraction for swimmers and sunbathers, our pristine waters are a magnet for many visitors. Snorkeling is one of our most popular activities. Not far offshore, the water is a great snorkeling depth, 4 to 6 feet. Snorkelers can expect to see soft corals, small coral heads, tropical fish, spiny lobster, and sponges. Occasionally, you might see larger fish or rays passing through. Kayaking is also a popular sport at Bahia Honda, and it's a great way to explore a large part of the park. Some more experienced kayakers venture farther offshore to Little Bahia Honda Key. It's a rather small island, but it presents another opportunity for snorkeling. Onshore, the walking is difficult, but that doesn't stop the serious explorers. Another popular option for snorkelers is a snorkel tour operated by the park concession from the main marina. Weather permitting, the boat operates morning and afternoon tours. Snorkelers are taken several miles offshore to the Lukey National Marine Sanctuary. location of some of the most spectacular reefs in the Florida Keys. Incidentally, snorkelers and divers are not allowed to remove anything from the waters of the park or Looe Key. Also, spearfishing equipment may not be possessed within park boundaries, which extend 400 feet offshore. To book a snorkel tour, simply visit the rental desk in the concession building adjacent to the marina. This is also where visitors may rent kayaks and snorkel equipment, including wetsuits for use in winter months. The concession area also includes a gift shop, where visitors may purchase t-shirts, beach cover-ups, hats, and a wide range of souvenirs. Limited grocery and marine supplies are also available, and drinks, snacks, and huge sandwiches are available at the snack stand. Bahia Honda State Park has some of the finest boating facilities in the lower Florida Keys. 2 modern boat ramps in the main marina attract divers and anglers from South Florida and those who haul their boats for long distances. The main marina includes 19 boat slips with water and electricity, which are available for overnight rental. Amenities for boaters also include bathhouse with hot showers, trash disposal, and sewer pump out. Access for larger boats is from the Atlantic Ocean. The Florida Keys are known for great fishing. That's why many people bring their boats to Bahia Honda. Bonefish, permit, and barracuda hang out on the flats just off the Atlantic side of the island. Some anglers head offshore in search of larger game fish, such as dolphin. Or take another direction into the backcountry of the Gulf of Mexico in search of trout, snapper, snook, and tarpon. Of course, you don't have to have a boat to catch a fish at Bahia Honda. Snapper and grouper are caught with regularity off the seawalls adjoining the old bridge. And in the early morning and evening hours, you can try wading the flats off the Atlantic beaches in search of bonefish. All you need is your equipment, a valid Florida saltwater fishing license, and a copy of current fishing regulations. While water-related activities are the lure for many Bahia Honda visitors, the park has a lot more to offer. For example, that old bridge that towers over the southwestern end of the park. There is little recorded history of Bahia Honda Key prior to the construction of the bridge. Thousands of years ago, Paleo Indians lived in the Florida Keys. They were followed by the Bahia Hondos and Calusa. But Spanish explorers brought disease to the Keys, and by the time the British took over in 1763, no Native Americans remained. Recorded history really dates from the early 1900s, when Henry Flagler extended his Florida East Coast Railway from mainland Florida to Key West. In the early days of construction, the Overseas Railroad was often referred to as Flagler's Folly. Because of the deep water and fast-moving currents, the Bahia Honda Bridge was one of the most difficult to build. It and the rest of the line were completed, and trains started rolling to Key West in 1912. Rail service through the Keys ended with the Labor Day hurricane of 1935, which wiped out key parts of the line, but not the Bahia Honda Bridge. Today, park visitors may walk up the trail and stand on a portion of the old bridge. On Thursdays in winter months, they can learn all about Henry Flagler and his railway from park ranger Artie Engler.
After the hurricane 1935, they decided to put a road over here. Once again, this bridge was the hardest one of all. As you notice, where the railroad went was too narrow to put in two-way traffic. So what they did was put steel plates, 90 foot long, 21 foot wide, over the top of the existing bridge and put the guardrails up. And at one point, the center hump of this bridge was the highest point in the Florida Keys.
The old bridge views are incredible. Most days, visitors can see Marathon more than 12 miles to the east and 6 miles west to Big Pine Key. It's well worth the short walk up the trail to the bridge. By the middle of the last century, many of the old bridge structures now used by vehicles were deteriorating, and by the mid-1980s, all had been rebuilt or replaced. Wider bridges, such as the new Bahia Honda span, certainly took a lot of the adventure out of driving from Miami to Key West. Incidentally, the Spanish words Bahia Honda simply mean deep bay, which is what the bridges span. Also, you notice we and park personnel pronounce the name Bahia Honda, which is how local folks pronounce it. Bahia Honda is also correct. There is plenty more to see and do at Bahia Honda State Park, and a good starting point is the Sand and Sea Nature Center just off Calusa Beach. The Nature Center, although small, is filled with displays representing the various plant and animal communities located in the park. A ranger or volunteer is on hand to answer questions and provide directions.
These large cushioned starfish, we often see those in the spring. Usually it's like people say, well, where's the starfish?
Yeah.
If you see one, you're going to see 10 of them.
Oh, wow.
Usually there's a lot of them, and they're kind of like spaced out pretty evenly in the seagrass beds. So when you're snorkeling out there, you'll see those.
There are also weekly illustrated presentations at the Nature Center on topics dealing with the park's plants, animals, sea life, and history of the Florida Keys.
Some of the most common sea creatures you'll find out there are the sponges. The loggerhead sponge is one you might see, and they like to they will filter food. They filter bacteria from the water. Some other sponges you might see are the tubed finger sponges and maybe the vase sponge.
Visitors to Bahia Honda State Park need to understand that the natural subtropical environment of the Florida Keys is found nowhere else in the continental United States. Because of that, you'll be seeing trees, plants, birds, and sea life that you won't recognize. Therefore, it's a good idea to sign up for a nature walk, or be sure you're equipped with the park pamphlets when you go out exploring. A short distance from the Nature Center is the Wings and Waves Butterfly Garden. A wide variety of butterflies may be seen here. The garden is planted with native Florida trees and plants which provide nectar for adults and larval food and nursery areas. At certain times, the garden is filled with butterflies, but that's not always the case. Among the more recognizable trees in the area are the gumbo limbo, also called the tourist tree, for its red and peeling bark, and the Jamaican dogwood with its fragrant flowers. Early fishermen used the bark and other parts of the tree to stun fish so they could be easily captured. Bahia Honda State Park encompasses 9 natural communities. 4 are submerged, 2 are wetland. 1 is a very rare community in the Keys, the coastal rock barrel, which is found on Little Bahia Honda Key. The last 2 are the beach dune and adjoining coastal berm, which now brings us to the beginning of the Silver Palm Nature Trail. This may be a self-guided tour with information about the trail contained in a pamphlet available at the trail entrance. On Tuesdays, however, park visitors may choose to hook up with a ranger for a guided nature walk on the Silver Palm Trail during the winter months.
I want to point out a certain plant right here that anyone in Florida who visits the Florida Keys should be very familiar with. It's called the poisonwood tree. Right here, you'll see the leaves here. They're very shiny green. They have black spots. The black spot are the sap. This is a poisonous tree. Actually, it's related to the cashew, but it'll give you a rash like poison ivy. Notice now we're several feet lower in elevation than we were at the beginning. We're going to be walking in a moment into a transitional zone which will lead us into the mangroves. I wanted first to point out the silver palm, which this trail is named after. Bahia Honda has one of the finest stands of silver palms in Florida on this trail. They can grow quite tall on this trail. Why they're called silver palms, on the back of their leaf, it's very silvery. They're a threatened species. They get a beautiful berry, which is very important for birds, box turtles, other animals that eat berries.
Keep your eyes open as you walk along the trail. You might spot one of our reclusive land crabs, although they usually only come out at night. We also need to mention that one of our endangered silver palms is a national champion. Another national champion in the park is the rare yellow satinwood. The champion is deep in a hammock, but there are other yellow satinwoods throughout the park. Among the park's other rare or unusual species are the sea lavender, the premier plant, the dune lilythorn, which you probably won't be able to find without the help of a ranger. Birdwatching is another popular activity at Bahia Honda State Park. On Mondays at low tide, visitors may join a ranger for a beach bird walk. You may see a variety of wading birds and shorebirds, including the ever-pleasant gulls. As you walk about the park, you're likely to come across wading birds, such as egrets and herons. Some of these characters may be seen hanging around the marina looking for handouts. The same is true of the brown pelicans, which tend to show up anytime a boat pulls up to a dock. Fishermen should resist feeding these birds, especially fish carcasses. It could be deadly to the birds and is prohibited in the park. Ospreys or fishhawks nest in the old bridge and soar over park waters looking for fish. You might also come across ruddy turnstones, one of several species of shorebirds which feed and rest here. In addition to nature walks and other presentations, we also have a weekly nighttime slideshow or talk for our overnight guests. Weather permitting, these take place on Friday nights at the outdoor amphitheater or campfire circle at the base of the trail to the old bridge. Florida Keys history, the Overseas Railroad, fishing, and local plants and animals are among the topics covered in these sessions. From time to time, the park also hosts special events, such as Earth Day in April. The observance includes free park admission, special exhibits and contests, live music, food, and free t-shirts for the kids. As you have seen, many park visitors are only here for the day, but there is no better location in the Keys to spend a night, a week, or longer. Bahia Honda State Park includes 3 campgrounds, and reservations for sites are necessary. Buttonwood Campground is located partly on the water near the new bridge. The sites here are large and can accommodate a variety of rigs from large RVs to small tents. There is a small marina with limited dock space. A dozen sites are on the water, and all sites include electric, water, picnic table, and grill. The campground includes a bathhouse with hot showers and a sewage dump station. The Sandspur Campground near Sandspur Beach is the most beautiful in the park. Because the sites are located in a hardwood hammock, they are small and have low clearance. They're perfect for tent camping, and some will accommodate small pop-ups. However, RVs are not permitted in this area. Not all of the sites have electricity, but all include water, picnic table, and grill. And there is a bathhouse with hot showers. Our third campsite, Bayside, is accessible only if your vehicle is less than 6 feet 8 inches high. The 8 sites here are for primitive camping since there is no electricity, and the small bathhouse has cold water showers. For those not into camping, there is another option at Bayside. We have 6 waterfront cabins, each of which will accommodate 6 people. Each contains 2 bedrooms and 1 bath, a small kitchen and living room area. Linens and utensils are provided, and small boats may be anchored behind the cabins. Because of great demand, these cabins must be reserved 11 months in advance. Thousands of years ago, Bahia Honda and other keys were underwater as coral reefs. A drop in sea level allowed portions of the prehistoric reefs to emerge from the sea and form islands. Through the years, sand brought in by wind and waves elevated parts of the island and allowed for plant communities to become established. The same wind and waves, along with the birds, also brought seeds from the Caribbean and South America, which started the growth of the plants and trees. Despite setbacks caused by hurricanes over hundreds of years, Bahia Honda Key grew into what you see here today, a Florida Keys treasure and one of the most popular parks in Florida. Are we all glad that drop in sea level took place? For further information about Bahia Honda State Park, call 1-305-872-2353 or go online at www.floridastateparks.org. To make cabin and campsite reservations, please call 1-800-326-3521. Reservations may also be made online at www.reserveamerica.com.